I've been so inspired lately. You know, Patrick Bet David said something that was very important. He's been saying something very important recently, which is, a lot of the right people are starting to meet, right? They're starting to come together. The future is so bright, and I couldn't agree with that point more. And in terms of myself, I can definitely attest to that for myself because I have been so gifted by the algorithm, finding more people who whose visions seem to align somewhat with mine, whose missions seem to align somewhat with mine. And mostly what I'm referring to is people who understand that we are all human beings and who are fighting for that voice that epitomizes, that shows, that stands up for, that notion that we are all human beings and that we all deserve opportunities, and also even more so too, right? Because one of the biggest things about the whole issue of the lack of unity among all of us is that there are so many higher levels for us to get to in terms of everything. You know what I mean? In terms of so many things, and really by everything, we should be really careful when talking about everything, right? Because we've tried to make space for everything. We talk about this inclusion thing, which, excuse me, it's been more apparent now than ever that inclusion does not include everybody, right? Inclusion does not mean everybody. Inclusion at least meant people who were not being allowed a voice, or people whose voices were being intentionally suppressed before. And I mean intentionally suppressed. Whereas now, everybody has a voice, right? Or everybody, or not everybody, but those people seem to feel like they have a voice, but they also feel like they have their enemy, and they've made their enemy everybody. Like they've made their enemy and everybody and anybody. You know what I mean? Where, there is now this perpetuation of the condition of being oppressed, and accepting that place of being a victim, and trying to create a realm of control as the victim. You know what I mean? And these aren't the people who, I'm looking for. And really, these are not the people who represent unity, right? These aren't the people who represent, the type of landscape that will that talks about and that demonstrates what I am looking for, and also what my algorithm seems to have been giving me. It's really hard because, especially as a black man, but generally as a person who cares, there's only so much hope that you can have in the way of other people's intentions, other people's goals, other people's missions, right? And how far they actually want to go with what they do. And I mean, I'm completely fine with people having their own responsibilities and people having their own, goals and missions, of course, right? I hope you have your own thing going on. I shouldn't have to always, monitor you. I am not the only person. I should not be the only person who hopes that, they can live a peaceful life, right? And get along with people and feel like they belong on this earth. But, at the end of the day, to know that there are so many people who are working in so many different avenues to reach black minds, to reach black ears, to reach, in general, the souls of people, to both lift people out of their perceptions of a mean world or of a dark world, and also to reach those who don't, or perhaps have already transcended beyond the idea that we live in a dark world, and stuff like that. and get them to have more awareness or to pay more attention to, or to perhaps invest more into, the idea of getting us to, like I said, come together and recognize each other's humanity. You know what I'm saying? The conversation is so is so garbled, like it's so jumbled, and as usual, right? One of the main reasons for that is because so many people feel like they have a voice. So many people feel like they have an opinion, when in reality, they may have somebody who already represents that mode of thinking, or that way of thinking, or what it is that they want to say. And, our culture has uplifted, this like celebrity kind of culture, and all this type of stuff, which, don't get me wrong, people should be recognized, you know what I'm saying, for their contributions and things of that nature. But we definitely also still, though, need help with, the idea of self appreciation, or self knowledge, self recognition, and also recognition and awareness of, just the simple fact that, right, like, you don't need to be notorious, right? Like, if anything, notoriety comes with the territory of impact, but it isn't necessarily desired, right? Like, you want to be left alone. You want to be able to have peace. You want to be able to, like I said, have peace, and do your own thing. And so, like I said, regardless of what many of these things could look like, or what many of these things could be, or, however they, however we would wind up working out these things in the future, I am saying that I am pleased with the fact that I have been meeting, through my algorithm, so many different people who align with me ideologically, at least from a general standpoint, and who just seem to be so pure, and who walk in the spirit, and who also too have the ability to articulate their intent. And yeah, I don't know what it is that caused me to begin to have these this success in terms of meeting these good people. But I will say something that is very interesting, is that I will say that it looks like it has kind of taken a sort of an effort to how do I say, like, destroy myself, or destroy, or otherwise, right, like, tap into other parts or sides of the internet, or of culture, in order for these things to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's like, for example, because, and I have to be specific about this, and what I mean, and what I think I mean when I'm saying what I'm saying. And what I mean is that, at the same time that I have been meeting many Black people who want to help, who have a mission to save the world and stuff like that, I have also been having to recently been having to deal with a lot of content that is anti-Jew. I've been seeing a lot of, like, white supremacist content. I've been seeing a lot of racist content in general. There's and the thing is, I get it all, baby. Like, I get it all in my algorithm. I get the sex, I get the lust, I get I see it all. I see death, I see violence, I see like I said, the lust, I see the racism, and I really do get to see it all, and I see the different things that all of you guys support, and hey, right, I've always wanted this because I've always felt like, I've always felt like the best view of the world is the view of the omniscient narrator, right? Who's more privileged than the omniscient narrator, who knows what everybody's feeling, who knows how the story is going to go, and ultimately more or less has control of the story because they know the characters who are involved. And yeah, all that really is just empathy. All that is just compassion, and care and concern, for what I have been witnessing is a world that needs help, a culture that needs help. So, hey, from where I am right now and where things are looking like they're going to be going in the near future, I I couldn't tell you enough how excited I am to engage with the examples, with the people whom my algorithm has been bringing me to bring forth a tremendous and much needed shift, in our perception of the world and of the culture. And the reality is that you're whether with it or you're not, we will make it ever more apparent that you choose where you want to be on this planet. You know, not everybody can be helped. Because not everybody wants to be helped. And I think it is very inappropriate to try to help people that do not want to be helped. And so, but in the meantime, people should not have to suffer because there are a lack of opportunities, or those people should not be, those people should not have opportunities that are so far out of reach that they cannot bring themselves out of their wickedness. You know what I mean? We will make it ever more apparent just how much some people are willing to be subordinated, just how much people are willing to be, in the places that they are in their lives. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it goes. Those are theories.